then we gotta make sure that we record.
You want to
the
jump, see if you can
meeting
jump in?
And get it on the website.
It's recording right now. And then I will download it and then edit it and get it up.
Okay.
But yeah, see if you can join in there.
Waiting.
Okay, so then
There we go.
Yep.
next time,
Something.
Justin, when you see about breakout, or you see something separate,
Yeah.
and it should be a shorter one, so if you kind of do a free one and. You know.
Yeah.
it won't have-
I know you can do with a paid version, you can do breakout rooms and stuff. So.
Research in progress.
Can you shut audio off on me?
You got your All right.
Do a Venmo and set up here.
Okay, you should be good.
We good?
Should be good. Yeah. Yeah. If, ask if the people on there can hear you and somebody chatting.
We can hear you.
Thumbs up.
Can you hear us?
The first meeting of the SUBOA. For anybody who doesn't know me, my name is Billy Kinghorn. I'm the director of the board. We've got three or four board members here. Justin Bateman and Bruce Clark working the technology stuff. Jason Clark here in the front. Mark.
Jason Esther.
Oh, Jason Esther. Oh, Mark, sorry about that. When Coach King is our treasurer.
Seven in there.
And Tony Miller is our board secretary. I know he's online. So we want to welcome everybody who's here in person, everybody that's on the Zoom. We also want to especially welcome any new officials. Do we have anybody that's brand new that's here? Okay, so I'm at town. Jaden. Jaden Adams, all right, well, last name. Do we have your information?
RJ Rose. Okay.
Anybody online that's new, welcome as well.
What's his name?
These QR
Have him
codes.
give us make sure that he fills out that subcontractor.
Is it on for the Zoom people?
Nope, I will put it back on.
Anyway, so we got the subcontractor agreement, committee sign up, our SUBOA website. And we've got some apparel that, Monty's helped us, put together. And he'll talk about that more a little bit later on. We also have, bylaws and activity program that everybody should have access to. It's on our website. Bruce has done a ton of work on this for us. We really appreciate that. But it's available for everybody who wants to read it, see what's in there. By signing up to agree to abide by the bylaws and the integrity program. So I would recommend highly that you do read them.
Very cool.
The state rules clinic was held last Wednesday. It was limited to 500 participants, and several people tried to get on and had registered and couldn't get on. So we are aware of that. I personally, I watched it, and I actually got on today and watched the whole thing today. So it is available on the eligibility. It is is required if you're going to work postseason. It's not going to be available forever. I don't know what the end date for it is, but don't delay. It's an hour and 19 minutes long, so. You said. Okay, so if anybody online didn't hear that, that was Joe, you write our signer. In order to be eligible to receive games, they build work games, you have to watch that. So get on and watch.
Hey, Kelly, hang on one sec. I guess our mic is a little lost, so they can hear you. It's not very well. Just hang tight.
Do I need to move it or pop louder? Yeah. Okay, is this any better? Somebody online let us know if this is better.
Thumbs up, that sounds better. You hear Kelly better?
Can we get a thumbs up? We good?
Or a thumb down.
Down, yeah.
Bill said yes. Toby, can you hear us? Can you hear Kelly better? Big head nod.
Yeah, no, okay, good. All right, the next thing is the Part A test. You get 4 attempts to pass. You have to have an 84 to pass. And you need to pass it before you're eligible to work any games. I can tell you that games statewide start next Tuesday. So in 8 days, 7 days. So you need to pass by next Monday. And if you're on next Monday at 10 o'clock at night, there's probably going to be a lot of traffic. It's going to be hard to get through. It may bog down. It may kick you out. Okay, so don't wait to do it. Once again, can you put up the eligibility tab for us? It is on the eligibility tab on Arbor Sports. If you want a blank copy of the test, so you can, questions are, you want to, look up answers, rule references, whatever.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, so I'm looking right here. So the Part A test, that's right here. Okay, Justin has completed it, so good for him. All right. But I have a blank copy of the test. If you'd like that, just contact me. I'll be happy to email it to you.
Is that we already emailed?
Yes.
I think you got questions 31 and 31 on there twice.
Yeah, and then we missed 22.
Yeah.
So sorry. But we can fix that. We have question 22 on there now, so we have a better copy. And then Part B, which is this test that shows right here. That is required for postseason eligibility. It closes on January the 15th.
Yeah.
No, December 20th. Before they told us it was December 15th. Once again, it closes at 10 p.m. on that day. If you wait until 10 p.m. to try to get it submitted, you may not get it submitted. So don't wait to the last minute. Once again, I have a blank copy of that test. If you'd like that, I'd be happy to send it to you. The next thing, roll down please to the bottom. Okay, so here's the bottom. There are these 4 video trainings that have to be taken. You can see they all close on January 15th. You can see it's at 9:59, so you have to be done before them. This one's about 12 minutes, this one is about 10 minutes, this one's about 30 minutes, and this one is about an hour. Okay, just, yeah, James.
Yes, complete all four, correct?
Yes, it says you have to complete one, you have to complete all four. That's correct. Okay. Any other questions about any of this stuff on the eligibility center?
Talk a little bit about the attendance and
Okay.
those who are in person are going to get a QR code. Those that are online
Can the
will
people on
also
the
get
Zoom
that.
hear you? When you talk?
Can they hear me?
Okay, so for those people who are online, people who are in person, we're gonna hand them a QR code that they can do the registration. If you're online, we will send to you. We've got a list of who attended, and we will send one to you, so you'll just have to go do it yourself, just like they do. All right. The next thing is dues. We don't have our Venmo set up yet. We just about 5:30 tonight got everything finalized, bank account late. That took about a week longer than they told us it would. So Cody King is going to get the Venmo set up. When it is set up, we will notify everybody that it is up, so you can pay your dues. It's $40 from now until December 15th. After December 15th, it'll be $60. If you don't pay it by the meeting, January the 12th, we will stop assigning games. If for some reason you have a hardship, just contact me and we'll work something out. For the brand new officials, those fees are waived. Okay, so you don't have to pay those this season. All right. If you have questions, if you have problems with the Venmo, once it's up, I'm going to suggest that you talk to Cody. If there's anything that has to do with technology, I suggest you don't talk to me, because I will not be able to help you. We have people that will. One of the other things that we had on the QR codes that were up at the beginning was a subcontractor agreement that everybody's going to need to sign. That's also on our website, and we'll talk about our website a little bit later, but it's on there. We need to get those in and signed as soon as possible. Justin? That's fine. Okay, all that's scrimmages. We need meeting dates.
Oh,
Meeting dates.
sorry.
We're gonna need that one next.
Where was it?
We not have one pulled up?
They're on the
You're on the eligibility center, yeah.
They're on the registry. Yeah.
This scan has, cool down. At the bottom here, right here. Okay, so these are our 4 meeting dates. So tonight, December 1st, that will be Canyon View High School. So for the people down here, you don't have to go to Canyon View, you can join them. There was a question, I don't know if people have interest in meeting in one place to watch the Zoom, or if you just want to watch it on your own. The people up north, people who aren't here, are doing it individually. December 15th, going to be here at Dixie High School. January 9th is going to be at Canyon View High School. And then our last meeting is going to be on January 26th here at Dixie High School. That's the meeting where we're going to hold elections for next year. So 2 of our board member spots, the ones that are currently held by Justin and Jason, are 1-year spots. They will convert to 2 spots in the next election. And that election is going to be open to all the general membership. All right. Then we have 2 scrimmages that we're going to do on-court training with. One is going to be on the 14th, so this Thursday, this Friday, this Thursday.
All right.
It's on the 14th. So it's going to be at Dixie High School. Okay, the on-court training is going to start at 5:30. The first scrimmage is at Dixie is at 6. And then there's another one at 7:30. We're also gonna
meet this Friday.
Okay, on Friday, and then we're also gonna do one that's tied to the one at Kennedy High School. That one's gonna start, at 5 PM. It doesn't show it yet, but there's a game at 6 as well, 5:30 as well. With regards to scrimmages, these are all the ones that we've been notified about. If you want to work a scrimmage, please let me know before you leave, and we will make sure that you get assigned. Okay? Same thing's true for people on Zoom. If you want to work one of the scrimmages, please let me know, and we will make sure that you get assigned. Okay? Those assignments will come from Joe B through the arbiter. Okay? Any questions about anything that we've talked about so far? I know we've gone kind of fast, but I'm really hoping to get us out of here as close to an hour as we can. Any questions here or online?
We may have a meeting change in January. I think Jeff's got it as the 9th on that.
Oh, it should be the 12th, right?
Yeah, but it should be the 12th.
Yeah.
So we'll have Jeff change that.
That one right there is really gonna be on the 12th. Okay, no questions? Okay, great. All right, then we're gonna turn the time over to Monty, who is joining us, remotely. I hope we can turn the sound up here so we can hear him. We're gonna talk about, he's gonna talk about postseason eligibility and merchandise. When he's done, we're gonna turn the time over to Bruce to talk about committees, and then to Justin about a mentoring program and the website, and then we're gonna give Joe B, our assigner, a few minutes. And then Monty's gonna talk a little bit about, new rules and points of emphasis, and then I'll close us off. So, Monty, you're up.
Can you guys hear me?
Monty, you chat?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
You guys here?
Yep, hang on.
Are we good? Hello. Okay.
I can hear you, Monty.
All right. Thank you. Kelly asked me to go over some of these preseason new rules and points of emphasis. If you attended the meeting last week with Jeff, this will be a review, but we wanted to make sure to go over this in case you haven't attended that, and to answer any questions with our local association if there are any. So I'm going to go through these fairly quickly, and please let's discuss if there are questions and comments from everyone. So taunting, racial slurs, divisive language, discriminatory acts based on race, religion, sex, orientation, creed, or national origin. That is an automatic 2-game suspension. Reported to you, not heard, so reported to you by a coach. Teams to benches, gather both coaches together to address it, and then have them return to their bench to address it with their teams. Do not continue play until you are satisfied that coaches have addressed that with their teams. Are there any questions with taunting? Okay. Taunting continued. If you hear it, make sure you know what you heard and issue a flagrant technical foul. That does include ejection from the contest. And then follow the same process of sending teams to benches, gathering the coaches, and having them address the issue with their teams. The ejected player needs to remain on the bench. Don't send them to the locker room. Make sure the player remains on the bench. A discussion point last week with Jeff was that if a coach is ejected, they need to leave the visual confines of the playing court. A player needs to remain on the bench with the team. In either situation, make sure Kelly knows. And I would add, Kelly, make sure Joe B knows as well. I'm sure you'll talk to Joe B, but it would probably help if Joe B is part of that that call that the official makes. Any questions or comments with taunting? Okay, goaltending. After the ball in high school, after the ball contacts the backboard, it is considered on its downward flight.
Monty, Kelly's on,
What's that?
So if we have the taunting stuff and there's no ejection, I want to know about it. If there's an ejection, we're going to go through the whole ejection procedure and Joe B and Jeff are going to get notified. But if we have to address taunting at all, I just want to know about it.
Great. Okay, we talked about goaltending. Any questions on goaltending and the ball hitting the backboard and being considered on its downward flight? Okay, players, substitutes, bench personnel, team members, Rule 4-34-1. A player is one of the 5 team members who are legally on the court at any given time except for timeouts or intermissions, at which time they are considered bench personnel. Any questions on bench personnel? Very good. Resumption of play procedure, throw-in spots. This is new. Officials use the 3-point line to determine the throw-in spot in both the front court and the back court. If the stoppage occurs on or within the 3-point line, the designated spot shall be the nearest point of the in line, 3 feet outside the lane line. If the stoppage occurs outside the 3-point line, the designated spot shall be the nearest sideline at the 28-foot line. Let's make sure we're inbounding the ball in the correct spots. Any questions or clarification for resumption of play procedure and throw-in spots? Okay, throw-in provisions. The thrower shall not purposely and or deceitfully delay by returning after legally being out of bounds and then becoming the first player to touch the ball after returning to the playing court. Any questions or clarification? Okay. Basket interference. It is no longer.
Monty, just go through a scenario on the last one where on 9-12-2 where that would come into play.
Well, so I look at this and it says I take the word purposely and or deceitfully. So if a player is forced out of bounds, this rule wouldn't apply. If a player purposefully or deceitfully is out of bounds, you have to referee that. You have to have a good judgment call on whether or not that player is trying to return to become the first player to touch the ball. For me, it's purposely and deceitfully returning. Is there anything you want to add to that, Kelly? Okay.
So we're talking about somebody who's off the court throwing the ball in and they wait and wait and wait and they're trying to get lost. So after they throw the ball in, the ball's touched by somebody else, but once they enter the court, they can be the first one to touch the ball. So they have to pass it to somebody else first before they touch it.
No. That's no. That's true. If they throw the ball, if they pass the ball and immediately come on the court and get the ball back, I don't see the.
But they're not delayed. They have to delay.
That's what we're saying. That's what we're trying to say. If they throw it in, and stand out of bounds, wait, and then they come on.
Right.
Then they get it, then we have a problem.
Right.
Okay.
That's exactly what we're saying.
Clarification there.
Yeah. Did everybody hear that?
Let's just.
Okay, so what we're saying is that a player throws the ball in legally, says touched inbounds legally, and they wait to enter the court. And so they wait, and then when they come on the court, they cannot be the first one that the ball gets passed to. It has to get passed to somebody else first. And I know there was a question about is there a signal for that? I'm not aware there's a signal for that.
Isn't that also when they pass the ball in and they run out of town?
Same kind of thing, they're delaying.
Yeah, exactly.
So the comment here was also if they pass it in and they run out of bounds somewhere, that's the same kind of thing. They're delaying their return because they're supposed to get right on the court. So if they were to off the end line, throw the ball in, run straight across the end line, inbounds, that's legal. But they run out of bounds, that's not legal. Yeah, I don't think there's a signal. I'm looking at the chart.
Kelly, I think it's just,
Kill the clock.
throwing violation.
Yeah.
I would just think the way
Put
line.
the spot, yeah. I'm just looking to see if they made the penalty. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I think the key words are purposely, deceitfully, and legally. And then you just make a judgment call, and put the ball in bounds where it needs to go after it happens. Okay, basket interference. It is no longer an automatic technical foul if a player intentionally slaps or strikes the backboard or causes the ring to vibrate while a tap or try for the field goal is in flight or touching the backboard or is in the cylinder above the basket. Basket interference now occurs when a player slaps or strikes the backboard, causing the backboard or basket to vibrate while the ball is on or within either basket or is touching the backboard or within the cylinder. To me, the intentionally word stood out. That's been removed. So we need to make sure we're aware of what's going on near the basket. And when a player slaps or strikes the backboard, causing the backboard to vibrate, where the ball is matters. If it's on or within the basket or touching the backboard within the cylinder, that is basket interference. Are there any questions or comments on that? Okay. Very good. Okay. Contact made with the sole intent to manipulate the clock is no longer automatically categorized as intentional. We didn't, in my opinion, we didn't do a great job calling this as a group, as a whole, as officials, late game situations. So I like this change. Instead, officials are expected to judge contact based solely on more physical and safety related criteria. So any comments on that? I think that makes it easier in late game situations to make those calls and not worry about the requirement to have them be intentional. Any comments? Questions? Okay. Jump ball administration.
So is there still criteria for like a quote unquote clear path type of play where you're fouling to prevent a score? Is that still going to be considered part of the criteria for an upgrade?
Did you hear that question, Monty?
Clear path?
Monty, did you hear the question?
I heard clear path question.
Yeah.
What was that?
Monty, we can't hear you, Monty.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now. No. The question is there still criteria to call an intentional foul on a play at the end of the game, like in a clear path situation?
Well, I think, if the sole intent is not to manipulate the clock is no longer categorized as intentional. So I think you have to make a judgment on the physicality of the play. Did I answer their question?
So,
Can you hear me?
yes. Yeah.
So the intent to manipulate the clock is no longer categorized as intentional. So you need to make a judgment on the physicality of the play. Okay, prior to the ball being tossed for a jump ball, non-jumpers shall not move onto the center restraining circle within 3 feet. Until the ball is touched by one or both jumpers, non-jumpers shall not take a position in any occupied space within 3 feet of the restraining circle. Okay, continuous motion. Under NFHS rules, a player who is pivoting or stepping when fouled is considered to have begun the try attempt. The player should be considered in the act of shooting if the player continues the motion and releases the ball on a try. I read this and I just think we have to be careful not to enter the realm of NBA where they're overstepping after the pivot, taking an additional step, or stepping additionally after a foul. I think we have to be very careful with that and not allow them too many steps prior to the release of the ball and counting a try. So this does give us a little bit more leeway, I guess, in calling pivoting or stepping when a foul is considered to begin a try. But I think we have to be careful and just see the play start, develop, finish, and be patient on our whistles and make sure we see the play the entire way through, and then make a call. Any questions or comments on this continuous motion? Okay. Points of emphasis. Contact on a ball handler. Defenders may not use their hips, torsos, or other body parts to displace, redirect, or impede a ball handler's freedom of movement. I think with a defender cannot disrupt an offensive player's path. If they do that with any part of their body, hips, torso, to displace, I think displace is a key word. You have to make sure you're in a position to see the play, have good positioning to see through the players and not be blocked out, and then to adjudicate whether or not the player is displaced, redirected, or is impeded from his freedom of movement. The defender must have that legal guarding position and not use those body parts to direct. Comments, questions? Okay, bench decorum. Officials are expected to take a proactive role in managing coach and bench behavior, particularly regarding the conduct of head and assistant coaches. I like the word proactive. I think we need to proactively approach bench decorum and not reactively approach that. If we become reactive, I think it's too late. Being proactive and mitigating behavior that we see on benches, comments that we hear from benches, that all requires being a proactive official, having conversations. The last bullet says we need to be better communicators, and I think that starts before the game. Obviously, during the game, we need to be proactive in our communication, and I think that will help reduce and mitigate any bench decorum issues that may arise in your game. You're going to have things that come up, and if we've established that communication foundation with coaches and with benches, I think it's easier to have those crucial conversations during games that you're in the heat of the moment. And if you've taken that proactive approach to managing the coach and the behavior on the bench, your conversations late in game, they're going to go a lot long. They're going to go a lot farther. They're going to carry more weight. Your credibility as an official will increase as we take that proactive approach to bench decorum. Any comments or questions on bench decorum?
Hey,
Okay.
Monty, I got a question.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on what the directive is by managing bench decorum, and dealing with coaches? Because my worry is that we're gonna, I can manage them with my words. We're gonna manage them with our words, or we're gonna manage them with enforcing the rules as written. Does my question make sense? I just don't want to get into a habit of spending the entire game talking to coaches.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think during the game, coaches deserve responses to questions about rules. Coaches, they don't deserve a response. It doesn't warrant a response if they're chirping and questioning calls, questioning judgment. I don't. That should not be addressed from an official's standpoint. I think different situations call for different types of communication during a game. And when you have a sticky situation, I think a coach deserves some type of an explanation. They're going to have questions. And I think we have to be good. We have to use good judgment during the game of when you're going to approach a coach and when you're not. And anytime there's a situation that requires that, whether it's a hard foul, whether it's a funny rule, whether it's just a situation that's unique. I think all of those situations, there should be communication. And I don't think we have to wait for a coach to ask about a funny situation. I think we proactively approach those. Any other time during the game, I agree with you. We don't want to be over there in the coach's lap during the game, during the course of the game. We want to pick our battles. We want to really choose to decide which hill we want to die on. And approaching coaches in a way that mitigates any of those potential problems that can happen, those funny situations that happen during a game. That, in my opinion, is when we need to be proactive. We don't need to be proactive, for the first 7 minutes of an 8-minute quarter, and go and talk to the coach and keep going over it. That's overkill of the proactive approach that we're talking about here. But be proactive when those sticky situations occur. Do you have anything to add to that, Skylar?
Nope, I think that was well said. I just, just curious on the state's directive to that and how they wanted to enforce it. I think you did a good job of addressing it. I know that sometimes we do exactly what you were talking about, and we spend all game long giving explanations to coaches and in an effort to talk them out of a penalty or technical or whatever else.
Yeah, a lot of times that communication is unnecessary. We maybe get in the habit of talking too much, and I think we need to pick those situations during a game, and the game will tell you what those situations are. It's not a cookie cutter approach. Each game is unique. Each game is yours. You should consider you as the official. It is your game, and you're not going to let anything happen in your game to disrupt the flow of the game. You're not going to let anything happen during your game to cause unneeded tension, delays. All those things become opportunities for unnecessary communication with coaches, where I think we should be more selective in our communication, and we want to be good communicators, and that takes I think being picky in what we're going to elaborate on with coaches will increase an official's credibility as far as bench decorum goes. Some specific things that have come out this year. Assistant coaches should not be standing and coaching the team. If that's occurring during your game, that's something that can ruin your game. So that is one of those unique situations that we need to be proactive. We need to go over to the head coach and say, hey, coach, I need your help with this. Can you help me with your assistant? He's standing too much. I need him to sit. And then you build that relationship with the coach for those hot item, things that happen during a game. That would be one example. But we don't need to go over there and be in the coach's lap all game.
Mike, I
Okay.
think the other thing we need to just quickly, because too many of us are not proactive. We act like the coach isn't there, we ignore everything, or we're not engaged enough to recognize when things are getting out of hand. So I think some of us talk too much, some of us don't talk at all, some of us don't talk enough. And we need to raise our awareness if we're one of those who just doesn't pay much attention to coaches, about what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And my advice would be to have some one-liners prepared. Have your elevator talk prepared. You can go and address coaches and, be consistent with your communication. I think coaches appreciate when they know who's officiating their ball games and they see you on the court and they know what the conversation is going to be. I think that's comforting to a coach in a way. In my opinion, it builds credibility. Don't be silent, but don't be too talkative either. Find that balance. Find that balance that makes you credible as an official. You're not going to talk about every little call, every little situation. You're controlling the communication with coaches. Don't let them control the communication. You control it. It's your game. It's important that we find that balance as good communicators. Any other comments? Kelly, would you like me to just jump into postseason stuff, or do you want to do that later? Kelly?
Okay. Let's do it now and the merchandise.
Okay. All right. So postseason eligibility. Postseason eligibility has changed a little bit with SUBOA. There's definitions that each official needs to understand. The two definitions are Tier 1 and Tier 2. And those definitions have different postseason requirements, depending on where you fall as an official, either a Tier 1 official or a Tier 2 official. As you can see on the website, the definition is all officials are considered Tier 1 who have 1 to 9 years of experience. All officials that have 10 plus years of experience are considered Tier 2 officials. And postseason eligibility requirements differ depending on your experience. So as you can see, a lot of the requirements are the same for both Tier 1 and Tier 2. The differences come with the mentor training program, game reports, and off-season camp attendance. That's where the changes are. If you are a Tier 1 official, you are required to participate if you are interested in officiating postseason. You are required to participate in the SUBOA mentor training program. And the forms are available on the website that you can fill out to indicate that you're interested in working postseason. You will need to complete all Minty assignments by January 31st. You will also need to complete a minimum of 5 game reports. And as a Tier 1 official, you are required to attend at least one UHSAA sanctioned camp every 3 years. On the flip side, if you are a Tier 2 official, all the other requirements are the same until we get down to the SUBOA mentor training program. If you are interested in working postseason as a Tier 2 official, you need to participate in the SUBOA mentor training program. It is similar to what we did last year in the SUOA, if you're a member of that association. There are some changes, so please have attention to detail when you look at the requirements. These requirements need to be done and completed by January 31st. You also need to be willing as a Tier 2 official to take an active part in online and in-person meetings as requested by the SUBOA board. Let me give you an example of that. So Skylar Dalton, a Division I official, has worked every level of officiating, is a fantastic official. We all want to learn from Skylar. During one of these meetings, we may ask Skylar to take some time and share some thoughts or take some time on game situations or film breakdown, whatever that is, for Skylar to be considered eligible to meet that requirement for postseason. Skylar would need to be willing to do that. And there are other officials that are definitely worthy of the SUBOA board reaching out to. The Kelly Holmans, the Kelly Kinghorns, all the Sean Shanoffs. I could list, Brian Abbott's, Bruce McPherson. The list goes on and on. We have some fantastic officials with some awesome experience, and for them to be considered eligible, if they are asked by the SUBOA board to participate, they would need to willingly do so. Online, it shows the mentor training program requirements. These I won't take the time because you can get online and read them, and please do so. Some information will be sent out on specific requirements that you'll need to complete, but this is the information that you have on the website for the mentor training program. Also, for those Tier 1 officials, your game reports, the information for you to complete a game report is right here online, but there are also forms available that we will send out to everybody who indicates that they are interested in working postseason. So that's basically it for postseason requirements, postseason eligibility. As you can see, there are a few changes, there are a few differences, so please take the time to understand these requirements. Also, take the time to fill out the forms, the required forms, and within the required forms that you fill out, it will also answer a lot of the questions you may have. So as far as postseason eligibility goes, those are the new requirements. Are there any questions or comments on that? Okay. Kelly, really the last thing is the apparel. It's on the website. If anybody is interested in purchasing SUBOA swag and apparel, jump online and go ahead and purchase whatever you would like. Obviously nothing is required, but it would be nice to start seeing some of this apparel around the SUBOA. So, thank you. Kelly, is there anything else or any further explanation or anything you would want me to share?
Yeah, just go to the bottom. Okay, can you hear me okay? All right. So I just want to cover real quick some committees that we have. There's a QR code here and it was on your screen. Sign up, participate. I just want to cover some of the things that we're going to do in these committees. The mentorship committee, identify potential mentors, identify those who want to be mentored. That'll be on your Google form, correct?
Yes.
That's where they're going to get that from. Okay. Content. When you look up here, we want to give things for the mentors to give to their mentees. Okay. We want to create stuff for that. And part of that goes to a rules committee, goes to a film committee. I'm going to scroll up. a training committee. And this is split up between Kelly is going to take the new officials up to 2 years. Okay. And Monty's going to take care of training on the rest on the side. And then we have the technology side. So all of these, we want to create content. We're going to do some rules quizzes. We're going to do some fun things to help generate the conversation, learn about situations and rules. Okay. If you have a funky play, if we have one of those where they go out of bounds, delay, okay, the throw in, delay, and come back in, make a note. Send it to somebody on that film committee and say, hey, will you guys pull this up? Because that's what we all want to see. Now, we may agree with you and say, yeah, that was great. That's exactly what we want. Or we may put it into a presentation to talk about, hey, these are the things we need to look at. Okay? But those are the things that we want to accomplish with this. We would love for everybody to be involved. Okay? This is, all this is right there on that Google form. So when you pull it up, you can read through there, decide which way you want to go, and we'll go from there. Okay? Any questions on that? Kelly, anything else? Okay.
We've covered the Venmo already. Yeah.
I'm going to switch this mic here. So I can sit down and control it here a little bit.
Been talking about a lot of, everybody knows there's new shirts, right? The new shirt that have to be, I'll bring it up. Every level from freshman up has to have that shirt.
So,
What's new with this?
yeah, go. All right. So a couple things. We do have a website. It's good. It has most of everything you guys would need to know that's on here. We got several pages on here. It's southernutahboa.com. It'll be in our emails. Obviously, everybody here knows how to become an official, but that's there. Monty referenced the mentorship program, which I'll talk about more in a second. Board members, training, which we're on the training side. It's going to have our meetings. So our meeting recordings will be on the training. And then we're also going to be doing training videos as well, which we'll post on here. They will be on YouTube. We're going to have a YouTube account. If they go to the training page, there's nothing here, but also have some stuff from the NFHS as well. There's the postseason eligibility, which we've mentioned before, which has a lot to do with the mentor training program also. And then the contact us form, which most of us don't really need. And then the shop. So utilize it. It's going to be a good resource and it should have everything on there. It'll just continue to be something that we'll build every, pretty much every week. We're going to be updating this, at least for now, since it's new. But you should be able to find everything that you want to on here. Okay, so the mentor training program, and this is going to be a little bit of a surprise to Joe. Sorry, Joe, didn't talk to you about this before. So we did do this in the SUOA last year. And I know that Monty's talked a little bit about it. We found some success with it. It was the first year. We liked it. We're going to keep trying it. And just try to do something different to grow some younger officials and help them, to want to be officials a long time. So essentially, we're going to be sending everybody, we don't have it ready yet, but we'll email out and we'll put it on the website, a link to essentially tell us you want to be postseason eligible, which means you're signing up to be a mentor or a mentee. Everybody's going to be matched up. That's going to be a process, but we're going to take everybody that's on that list for mentor or mentee, even people that don't want to be postseason, even if they're like, first year officials and things like that, they can expect to be a mentee, first, second year, third officials. Your officials can be on that list. Expectation is to just not ignore it. So it's to help the other official become a better official. We can all use that. And so I understand it's real world. Maybe some mentees don't want to talk to their mentors or don't care to ask questions. It is what it is. But we do kind of force this a little bit where you'll be assigned at least one game with your mentor and mentee, which will be used as a learning experience. And Joe does a great job at trying to get this early. Ideally, it'll be early, but it's going to be a hard task to do. But ideally, be early so you can do that game with them on the floor early, give real-time feedback during the game, halftime, and then obviously a debrief after the game. And then give them on 2-3 things to work on throughout the season. And then hopefully you might have another game with them toward the end of the year, or have an opportunity to be behind them at a game later in the year, where you'd be able to do essentially a second evaluation to talk about their improvements and things to work on over the off season. I know there were a few officials last year in the SUOA that this really helped them out, and it was a good experience. And so we're going to try it out again and see how it goes. I think that's it. Any questions about that? There will be again, on the mentorship page and in the email, there is a form. So we have a lot of forms that we're going to be accessing, but essentially we'll have a questionnaire form similar to this, where it's going to ask you questions about your experience with the mentor or mentee. And of course, if you're a mentee, you're not going to be doing this. You'll be doing the game reports. But you could be an official that's been officiating for 10 plus years and still be on the mentee. We'll see how. We're not going to try to do that, but it just depends on how many names we have on the list. It's kind of hit or miss. We'll see what happens. So, questions? Everybody's good? Okay.
Almost everybody. My name's Joe Wright. I'm the signer. Don't have any thoughts a little bit real quickly about the process of assigning. For those of you who've been around for a while, it's a broken record, right? Assigning is based on two things: rank and availability. You're responsible for your availability. Make sure your blocks are accurate and are put in arbiter. Everyone should have received the calendar to say when your blocks are due. If you didn't receive that, please let me know, and I'll make sure that you have that ahead of time. I do try and send out a reminder email anytime blocks are coming up due throughout the season. And then ranking is based on, again, you have total control over that as far as how hard you're working, how you're improving, how you're working with other officials, all those kind of things. The ranking is set by the committee, and so they'll work with you to make sure that you know what your ranking is. But that's how I assign: ranking and availability. If you don't have very much availability, you're not going to get a lot of games. If you have a lot of availability, you're going to get more games. Okay. If you have questions throughout the year, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You're welcome to text me, but email, I'm pretty responsive. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, text or email. Phone calls are a little bit harder, but you're welcome to try and give me a call if you'd like. This is not my only job. I have a full-time job. So during the day, it's a little bit hard for me to answer the phone, but text and email should work just fine. Anything else, Kelly, you want me to cover? Yeah, block dates. Just make sure you're following the block date calendar. You don't have that up. Well, I'm pulling that up. One more thing I just want to clarify. When your block dates are due, that's when I start assigning. Okay? And so I've already, in week 1, had a few officials that were adding blocks after the block date due date, which is fine. Just realize it tells me that. It tells me that this block was added after the assignment was made. It may not be published to you yet, but when block dates are due, I go in and I start making assignments. And then I publish them on Monday. And on Monday it says, this block was added after you made the assignment. And then the official calls me and says, oh, I had a block on that day. Well, yeah, you did, but it was a late block. Okay? It was after the due date. So please work with me. I've worked really hard trying to not charge anybody turn back fees. I just want to work with you. So this is how it works. So week 1, all of your block dates for week 1 and week 2 were due last Friday. Okay? And then assignments are coming out. Some assignments came out today. I just want you to please, everybody, please look at next Friday, Saturday, and see if you can change your availability at all. I still have about 40 games that need to be assigned next Friday and Saturday. So if you have any chance of opening up next Friday and Saturday, that would really help me out. I have published Monday through Thursday of next week. So those assignments have already been sent out. I hope to be able to send out Friday and Saturday tomorrow. It just depends on if I can get enough officials to work the games. Just be prepared. During tournament season, which is next week, okay, there's a big tournament here in St. George next week. Plan on working at least 2 games a day. Some of you may be assigned 3, hopefully not 4. I really try to avoid 4, but 3 games a day is possible, right?
You do have that block that you have to do after those dates are due. Do you want us to text you, tell you, call
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, if something comes up.
If things come up.
Yeah. Yeah, if something comes up, just say, hey, I had to add a block to so-and-so date. Yep. Okay. Any questions on how the calendar works? So you can see that there are 6 days throughout the season where due dates are, where blocks are considered due. And then I start assigning. Okay. I promise not to assign a week before the blocks are due. So please make sure your blocks are up to date on those due dates. I really, really try hard to get all assignments out on Monday for the following week. So next week's assignments came out today. Okay. All right. I think that's all. One more thing. Delay coming back in bounds. Signal number 25, same as a back court. Dead ball.
Is it
Delay.
new official, brand new, is wondering how to set your blocks and how to navigate them? Just wait after, and I don't mind helping them.
I'll help you too.
Because it's brand new, it might be confusing what he's talking about, but I'd love to sit down and show you how to set it up, what time to block and whatnot.
Okay, so just a couple of last things and we'll be done. Just in line with what Joe B said, be a good communicator with Joe B. The more information that you can give him, the easier it is for him to do his job well. You know, everybody has last minute things, right? That happens. But you know when your wife's birthday is, and you know when your anniversary is. You know, those kind of things you should handle ahead of time. Like I have a daughter who has a birthday in the middle of the season. I know that. Okay, so you just got to take care of it. If you have an ejection for any reason, not just the ones we talked about in terms of I don't remember what it was anymore, but taunting. If you have any ejection, you need to notify me. You need to notify Joe B, and you need to notify Jeff Clough. Okay, and then there is an ejection form that is on the UHSAA website that you'll need to fill out if you are the ejecting official. So it doesn't matter if you're the referee, the umpire number 2. If you're the one who does the ejection, you need to fill the report out. Okay. Yeah.
So I just want to clarify verbiage on things. So, like SWAT, it says we have to have absolute knowledge of who said it. There's no speculation and.
Okay, so that's why we talked about the 2. So the question was, with regards to taunting, do we have to have absolute knowledge about who did it in order to penalize? And the answer is yes. Okay, if it's reported to you, hey, this guy is using the N-word, or you know, is sexual orientation slur. Okay, that's when we gather the coaches together, send the teams to their benches, and have them go talk to the teams about the seriousness of it. But there's no penalty to give because we don't know who did it. The flip side of that is if you know who did it, you know it's blue number 4. Okay, that kid gets penalized because we know who it is and what they said. And you better be able to put in your report, I heard blue number 4 say this to the opponent. Okay, that needs to be in your report so that it's recorded because it is considered a flagrant act and they will receive a 2-game suspension. Okay. I know Bruce is in the middle of sending out QR codes to the people who are on Zoom. If you get one within the next hour or so, let me know and we'll make sure you get one. And then with regards to the new shirts, on the UHSA website, there is a link to get it. It is a gray shirt with black and white pinstripes and black shoulders. That is the shirt that we are going to use for all games. Once again, if you have not ordered one, don't wait till the last minute because you may not get it.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I actually have a large shirt here. Someone who doesn't have a shirt, and they just want to pay me for whatever it costs them on, if they need one. Then I can do that. So I can.
Did you think you needed a large?
Yeah. I lost my muscle over the years. So.
Okay, but don't delay getting them, okay? Because that's the shirt we're supposed to be wearing. Okay, I talked about the scrimmage list earlier. I was contacted by one person. Okay, if you don't contact me, I'm just going to give a list to Joe B and he's going to assign them. Okay, so it'll be my discretion, not yours. If you want to work, we want you there. We'll have people there to watch you and help you. Okay. Venmo will be set up as soon as possible. Like I said, we just, after 5 o'clock today, got everything signed and back to the bank. So until we have a bank account, we can't tie a Venmo to it. So hopefully we'll set up tomorrow because it's going to be a business Venmo. It may take a couple of days to verify, but as soon as it is live, we will contact you so that you'll know that it's live and you can pay. Do we have, also one other thing, if you want to be on a watch list, we have some outside evaluators who are non-working officials, people who have retired. If you want to be evaluated by somebody outside, we want you to be seen by them. Please contact me and I will get you on the watch list and we'll work with Joe to get you to a school where that evaluator will be. Any questions about anything we talked about tonight, either from the Zoom people or here in person? Anything, Justin?
They just asked me when the scrimmage dates are, so I put those back up on.
Go to the scrimmage dates. They're going to be next Friday and then Tuesday or Monday and Tuesday of next week. Okay. Some are men, some are women, some are varsity, some are junior varsity. But it's a chance to get out and run, shake some of the rust off, and we will try to have board members at every one of those.
If the new shirts haven't come in yet, can you wear one of the old coats?
Yes. Yes.
And shorts?
I don't care if you wear shorts.
Okay.
The other thing I would tell you is just, we may not have a new shirt. I would bring your old shirt just in case, because we don't want two guys in the gray shirts and one in the stripes. We all want to be the same. So I would bring it just in case, but if everybody has them, we're to wear the gray ones.
Just to verify,
Yeah.
in case they didn't hear, that's for scrimmages.
Yeah, it's for scrimmages, yes. Shorts and the black and white stripes are for scrimmages only, yes. Thanks, Joe. Let's clarify that. Yeah, we do wear pants when we officiate. Okay, so the last thing, and we will end, is our next meeting will be in 3 weeks, I believe, December 1st. It will be in person at Canyon View High School. We will be on Zoom for those who live down here and don't. If you want to make the trek up, that's great. We can probably figure out some carpool stuff. If you want to just do it on Zoom, that's fine too. But if no questions, then we're done. Everybody have a good season. Games start next week. We got to be sharp.
Hey, we can sign off on the contract, otherwise we don't have your info.
Keep it on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah.